A different variant of Calyrex Shadow Rider plus Galarian Weezing alongside Dragonite and No Dondozo mode was able to make it into top 16 of the European International Championship. We're going to be trying out this team and seeing how well it can perform. This is Kyo's Calyrex Shadow Rider Galarian Weezing team with his take, and let's break it down. First, we have the Calyrex Shadow Rider as one for the ability with the Focus Sash item, which is pretty interesting. With the Terra Ghost on the Calyrex Shadow Rider to just go for really powerful Astral Barrages. Really simple Calyrex Shadow Rider, you just go for straight up damage. You have a really powerful Astral Barrage with that Terra Ghost option. Focus Sash allows the Calyrex Shadow Rider to be able to take one hit and just fire off a lot of power with Astral Barrage and Psychic from a max special attack Shadow Rider. And with that max speed, it can be very impactful because of the move Encore, which is not a move we commonly see on Shadow Rider too much, but it's really able to punish some plays such as Protect to scout for the Calyrex Shadow Rider and reposition. It really just punishes any passive plays like Fake Out and more. It just allows Calyrex to be really threatening because of its very fast speed nature that's just able to go for really strong damage and again punish anything that's really being passive on the field. It's able to be really good into like Terrapagos, like any Calm Mind sets, because you just get locked into the Calm Mind, Substitute Protect if you get Encored and more, so it can be a super big threat. Galarian Weezing is so good with that neutralizing gas, being able to shut down abilities such as the Prankster Tailwind, as well as any weather abilities such as Koraidon, Kyogre, the electric terrain setup from Miraidon. There's just so many Pokemon that rely on abilities, and having neutralizing gas with Weezing is so effective and pairs really well with the Shadow Rider we've seen, just because as one ignores the neutralizing gas, so you still have an ability with the Calyrex Shadow Rider while able to do a ton of damage and ignore your opponent's abilities for the most part. That Rocky Helmet's really great, just getting some chip damage to build up across the board, be able to break Focus Sashes on Urshifu, and if they go for Surging Strikes from the Rapid Strike Urshifu, really takes a ton of damage as well. The Dazzling Gleam, really strong spread move that's just able to get some chip damage, especially again, two-shotting Urshifus, hitting Raging Bolts, and more. You have that Toxic Spike that's able to really rack up, so if you're able to go for that Toxic Spikes and set up across the board, you're able to chip away your opponent's team to set up for a potential Shadow Rider to get that knockout with that Astral Barrage, especially that Terra Ghost Astral Barrage, or your other Pokemon such as the Scarf Urshifu, the Life Orb Xianpao, or that Dragonite specifically with that Choice Band Extreme Speed Super Mega Threat option. So that Toxic Spikes can really just build up damage across the board and really allow the Weezing to just threaten your opponent by just getting constant chip damage while not being able to use their ability. Taunt is able to shut down any shenanigans such as the Amoonguss Rage Powder, the Spore as well, alongside Trick Room options. It's just a mod that's very disruptive to many teams, and that Terra Water is just really nice against really strong fire type moves, the Water Urshifu and the Calyrex Ice Rider Glacial Lance. Next Pokemon we're going to have is the Xianpao with the Sword of Ruin and the Life Orb. It's really interesting to see the items switched. Usually the Calyrex Shadow Rider would run the Life Orb and the Xianpao would be having the Focus Sash, but instead going for as much damage as possible with that Life Orb. That Sword of Ruin just really good at enabling the physically offensive Pokemon on this team to do as much damage as possible after Weezing has basically done his job and gone down. The Sword of Ruin with the Xianpao, that Stellar Terror to even boost its attacks even further. That Ice Spinner is just going to do so much damage, and this Xianpao just jolly max speed, able to threaten any Miraidon that is able to not be max speed, because a lot of them were slower at EUIC for bulk, and Ice Spinner just able to get rid of that terrain as a secondary option. That Sucker Punch and Throat Chop for the dark type coverage against opposing Shadow Riders and can be very impactful, especially with the fact of the neutralizing gas. With the Xianpao, that Life Orb gives an extra power up boost, able to ignore Farigiraf's ability and shut down any priority blockers, while still being able to threaten a lot of damage because of that Life Orb. It's just able to do so much damage, enables the Dragonite, the Scarf Urshifu, and really good cleanup, as well as a fast Pokemon that can just do a lot of damage with a Shadow Rider Xianpao lead. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Choice Band Dragonite with the Inner Focus and the Choice Band. Just able to do so much damage with that Terra Normal Extreme Speed as a really big threat for an early starter or a great late game cleaner. It's absolutely absurd. Outrage, of course, is a very powerful move, especially into common standard cores such as the Urshifu, Incineroar, Grass type balance cores. Is just so powerful. Aerial Ace is just able to do a lot of damage into a lot of common Pokemon, Amoonguss, Rillaboom, the Urshifus, and more. Stomping Tantrum to be able to hit Iron Hands, HP, Incineroars, and more. And really, the Dragonite, very simple EV spread. It's just max HP and max attack. You don't really need speed on this Dragonite. You already have a lot of fast Pokemon with your Scarf or Shifu. You have your Chienpao and your Calyrex Shadow Rider that are max speed. So really, the idea is to shut down a lot of Pokemon with that Weezing, preventing speed control because you have that neutralizing gas, preventing the priority tailwind, so the Chienpao or Calyrex can pick up the knockout, and then you just clean up in the end game using the Extreme Speed Dragonite. So you don't need as much speed. You're pretty much just having Dragonite stick around the field, taking attacks, and then cleaning up the end game with the powerful moves. Next Pokemon we have is that Choice Scarf for Shifu with that Unseen Fist and the Terra Water. And really, it's just a straightforward Urshifu. It's able to do a ton of damage. It partners pretty well with the Chienpao with the Sword of Ruin, and really just punishes any Terra Normals that you might face on opposing Calyrex Shadow Rider. And it can be very impactful for a close combat Astral Barrage follow-up. It's just a powerful mon. It doesn't need Unseen Fist some of the time if your opponent already has just Pokemon that don't have Protect, like Incineroar, and you can still punish them. It's just able to threaten quite a bit of heavy damage. You can play the Mind Games as well with that neutralizing gas and the Urshifu next to it. So very powerful, just able to be a fast mon, just threaten, and pretty much the name of the game, just do as much damage as possible. Final Pokemon we have is going to be the Iron Hands with the Quark Drive and the Assault Vest, running that Terra Water option as well to help out against, again, Kyogre, Koraidon, Calyrex Ice Rider, and more. And this Iron Hands is pretty interesting because it's running Low Kick only as the Fighting type move, which is great into some Pokemon such as like the Koraidon, the Miraidon, like a lot of heavy threats. But there's also like some weaknesses of running a Low Kick, which means you're not able to hit Pokemon like Terapagos for as much damage because it is a weight-based move. However, still able to do quite a bit of heavy damage. And this Iron Hands is just really just max special defense and max attack with a minimum speed just to help out in the trigger matchup if necessary. You have that Fake Out support, which is able to help enable, for instance, the Calyrex Shadow Rider or the other Pokemon for doing a ton of damage, as well as the Urshifu, because Iron Hands Urshifu can be a super threatening lead. The Wall Charge just able to do quite a bit into the water types in general. Heavy Slam to help out against Flutter Mane. And yeah, it's just a really strong Pokemon, and it doesn't even need its ability because it has incredible stats across the board. So it can really take advantage even if Weezing's on the field to dish out a ton of damage. Overall, this team, you focus on just being able to set up with either the offensive mode immediately. You have that Chienpao, Urshifu, Dragonite, Calyrex Shadow Rider, fast Pokemon that are just able to do a ton of damage across the board immediately. And then you also have the Weezing, which is able to help slow down the pace of the game because Weezing can be a hard Pokemon for some Pokemon to be able to pick up knockouts against. You have that neutralizing gas Rocky Helmet. It's just a really, really bulky Weezing set in general, just designed to be able to take the attacks and sponge up while setting up the T-Spikes or getting chip damage with Dazzling Gleam, as well as shutting down options with Taunt, so that you can build up the damage for your endgame mons to clean up. And of course, if they're playing too defensively, you do have the Encore on the Calyrex Shadow Rider that could force Pokemon to be able to switch. And if they switch, it might be switching into a Toxic Spikes, which means they get poisoned. So it can be very difficult for the opponents to manage their resources. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Calyrex Ice Rider, Incineroar, Urshifu with Raging Bolt, Rillaboom, and Pelipper. Okay, this is a pretty standard general team. I feel like we probably have a pretty solid matchup, assuming this isn't Terra Normal on the Ice Rider. I think we should just be able to go with Weezing. Weezing's pretty fantastic. I think Weezing plus the Calyrex Shadow Rider is really strong. I like Iron Hands a lot in this matchup. It's just really great at taking attacks, and of course Wall Charge and Low Kick can do a ton of damage. Last mon, I don't know. Urshifu is pretty decent, but I do expect Raging Bolt to be a bit of an issue of me knocking it out. I think Dragonite can clean up with Extreme Speed. I don't know if I'm going to Terra it, but I think it's probably the best mon. It's either that or I'm bringing Chienpao, which I think both are fair. But I like the idea of having a water switch into Urshifu just if I need it. So I think those four are the best. I could see Chienpao putting in a ton of work, but don't think I really need it. And Urshifu is like, it's just a Raging Bolt, man. Raging Bolt's such an annoying Pokemon to get rid of. I would probably like T-Spikes immediately at the start of the game, because being able to wear down whatever's in the back is fantastic. And yeah, we'll just draw off attacks. If they lead Incineroar plus Cali Ice, I mean, sure, I would love to just bring out my Urshifu Rapid Strike switch in, but I don't think it's needed. Let's see. If they lead Incineroar Cali Ice, I probably hard switch to hands, but let's find out. Incineroar Urshifu. Okay, no, this is pretty good for my Weezing. So my Weezing plus my Calyrex leads. I can actually protect in front of an Urshifu. It's amazing. It's amazing. Being able to protect against an Urshifu is so nice. Now, I could go for Gleam or I could go for T-Spike. I think I'm just going to go for a T-Spike here. And I'm going to go for Protect with my Calyrex. Gain the T-Spike means I can chip away the Calyrex Ice Rider and whatever's in the back later on, like the Raging Bull, for instance, which would be really nice. They go for U-Turn, as I expect. Because then, like, if I just go for Psychic, they just lose their Urshifu. If they Certain Strikes, they go for a knockoff double up into the slot, which is really good. I am able to get a free T-Spike up. And that is going to be a massive T-Spike, guaranteeing the poison on whatever's coming in. So I can go for Astral Barrage now, or I could swap. Iron Hands doesn't need the Assault Vest in this game. So I think I'm just going to fire off a Dazzling Gleam to get some chip damage. And I think I'm going to go Iron Hands. Because Shadow Rider is just so good at cleaning up remainder parts in the game that I think it's worth keeping around. So we'll bring out our Iron Hands. We're going to take nothing from U-Turn and Knockoff, which they are pretty much forced to do because they can't really do anything. Maybe a Parting Shot with Instant, but that means just everything gets poisoned. So they're just taking chip damage constantly throughout the turn. So I am okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. Let's see. Raging Bolt coming in. That's taking a Dazzling Gleam and the poison. That's beautiful. Chip it away from my Calyrex Shadow Rider. Clean up in the end game is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They go for the knockout to get rid of my Assault Vest. Sure. I love it here. I love it here. Dazzling Gleam. Not that much damage because it's probably Assault Vest Raging Bull. But at this case, like, why not? I am just going to be able to go for another Dazzling Gleam and get some chip damage. And let's just throw off attacks, I think. I don't think there's a point of wasting a turn of Fake Out. Even though it would help build up the poison damage, I would rather just straight up like get rid of a Raging Bolt, for instance. So I'm just gonna go for the low kick. They go for Electro Web, which is fine. Weezing takes that extremely well. Also, like, this Raging Bolt's like the only thing that can really do a lot of damage to Weezing straight off the bat, so I think it's always worth it. They go for Parting Shot, which is fair. Gonna lower the attack, but I mean, what do you bring in? The Urshifu takes a bunch of poison damage that's ticking down, as well as the Dazzling Gleam. If you go Calyrex Ice Rider, you're taking the poison, and I'm very happy with Calyrex Ice Rider getting chipped constantly throughout the battle. Urshifu's going to come in, so this taking a bunch of damage from the Dazzling Gleam coming out. And yeah, I'm very happy about this because that means Urshifu's on the timer as well. Incineroar's going to be on the timer. It's just a beautiful, beautiful start right now. And as you can see, Urshifu takes so much damage. Here comes a low kick into the Bolt at a beautiful amount. And they just don't have any switches at this point. So I am going to go for a... I guess I'm just going to go for another round of T-Spike. Trying to figure out how I want to set this up. Because Urshifu basically is going to go down in 2 turns. Actually, no, I'm going to Gleam here anyway. I'm going to Gleam. Because if Urshifu goes down guaranteed this turn, that'd be really nice. I think I low kick the Urshifu slot. Yeah, I'm going to low kick the Urshifu slot. They go for Certain Strikes. They're going to knock themselves out to the Rocky Helmet. So, all right. I do not mind this. Okay. The Urshifu goes down. The Bolt is going down this turn. The E-Web. Okay. Got to be a little bit careful, but I think overall should be fine. We do get the KO on the Bolt. We are min speed Iron Hands if they get Trick Room up, so that's acceptable. I think I want to deny Trick Room though. Let me think. Instant is healthy. Cali Ice is healthy. They're going to get chipped constantly throughout the poison. Oh, it's real. Oh, they didn't bring Cali Ice. Oh, no. I just went with Dragonite then. Dragonite just wins. Wow. No Cali Ice is insane, but all right. We take it. We take it. It could not beat the Weezing. The Weezing was very hard for them to get rid of. So I don't care about Intimidate or Grassy Terrain. I guess I'm just going to go for a Dazzling Gleam and go for a low kick, I suppose. It really does not matter what I do. I have a Dragonite and a Shadow Rider in the back. So I think I'm fine against these mons no matter what. They're going to forfeit because they realize, can't do anything. And it really worked out. Tornadus Incarnate, Female Entity, Urshifu with Incineroar, Ogerpon, Heartflame, and Calyrex Shadow Rider. Okay. Could be a bit scary because I don't know if this is normal Cali Shadow or not. Yeah, this is going to be a bit tough. I think I would always want to bring the Shadow Rider. I think Shadow Rider Weezing isn't bad. Entity is always a tough mon to deal with. It's always a tough mon to deal with. I think I do go with Calyrex Shadow Rider Weezing, and then in the back I want to go like... Is it Hands? I want to bring Dragonite Pal potentially. I bring Dragonite for sure. I bring Iron Hands. Iron Hands is good, but at the same time, it's kind of strange. I think I'll bring Pow. Because I would like priority just to go crazy in this matchup. And I think having a Mon that can get rid of Ice Spin or weighted terrain could be really helpful. It could be really helpful. Because I could see myself not being able to KO the Entity early in the game. Incineroar plus Calyrex Shadow Rider, okay. Versus Weezing plus the Calyrex, that's fine. Alright. Gas is on. We have the As-1 active on the field. I wonder if they have Flare Blitz on the instant, which is a bit of a concern. I kind of doubt it because they have Ogerpon. I think my play is just to go out into Xian Pao and protect my Calyrex Shadow Rider because I don't want to lose to a knockoff. I don't think Fake Out into Weezing's happening realistically. I think they're just going to knock off and parting shot my Cali Shadow, and probably the Shadow Rider is either going to fire off an Astral Barrage or do something else. If they want to go for Psychic into Weezing, that's completely fine by me. But we bring out the Xian Pao that threatens a lot of damage into the Shadow Rider, and it looks like we have successfully baited the Terra. All right, what Terra is going to be from the Shadow Rider? Fairy, okay. It would have been better if it was something else, but that's acceptable. All right, protect the Shadow Rider. Shouldn't be Calm Mind on this team. If they got the Weezing, that's fine by me. A Nasty Plot, sure. This is so weird because I don't know if they're going to try to get Torn in, for instance, and protect. I feel like my best play is to double up the Instant with Ice Spinner plus Encore. I think I'm going to try it because either they try to protect exactly and then I can Encore trap the Instant, which is nice. Let's see. All right, Epic. I don't know if they're max speed Shadow Rider. I could see it not being because they have a Torn. So I think I'm going to just try to Encore the Calyrex Shadow Rider the next turn anyway. So yeah, Instant's locked into Fake Out. I can Encore threaten the Calyrex Shadow Rider as well. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Encore the Shadow Rider and I'm going to go for Ice Spinner also into Shadow Rider because I need the damage to put in Astral Barrage range. Might come down to speed type, but we'll see. I don't think they're max speed with Torn, but we'll find out. The Instant has to switch out. If it stays in, it's not doing anything. Yeah. So what's coming in? Tornadus on that slot. That's fair. Nice. Beautiful. All right, get a huge Encore into the Shadow Rider, so it's stuck going for Protect. And we get a free ice spinner into the Shadow Rider. Beautiful. And it's in Sucker Punch range now. Now I can go out into Weezing to prevent the Tailwind from the Tornadus, and I can go for Ice Spinner into the Tornadus. This also denies them a Incineroar Intimidate if they want to go Incineroar for a slot. Well, it looks like I switched second, so it is actually a speed tie. It's actually funny because by them switching out, it confirms it's a speed tie. So, you know, sometimes you just risk it. Sometimes we can just risk it. I don't know if Ice Spinner is actually going to KO the Horn, though. We'll find out. Bring out the Weezing. I do get the Ice Spinner because they won't be able to get the Prankster unless they went for Bleak Wind, which is fine too. Oh yeah, Torn just goes down. Okay. It's still a little bit strange, but I mean, at the end of the day, if the Instant doesn't have an attack here, I am just going to be able to spam Sucker Punch and Taunt, I guess. Yeah, Shadow Rider comes in. I mean, if they have Psychic move, they got me. I don't think they have a Psychic move. I mean, they should have Expanding Force actually with this team. No, I think Terra to Weezing go for the Taunt is super safe into the Shadow Rider. Because I don't think Gleam KOs. That's Ice Spinner. The reason I'll go for this pin is because I can always Extreme Speed the Shadow Rider in the end game. And that's what I'm building up towards. They go for Fake Out into Weezing, which means they didn't respect the Xianpao, which is fine. They really didn't respect the Xianpao. I guess they thought I was going to last ditch Sucker Punch, but no, I go for the Shadow Rider by Ice Spinnering. I think I live an Astral Barrage. If they Draining Kiss, it doesn't heal them enough to where they get out of my Extreme Speed range anyway. So yeah. Goodbye, Shadow Rider. And that should seal it for Dragonite cleanup. Because Dragonite should be able to beat whatever's in the back. And that's what I was going for this game. Ogerpon. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure the Dragonite will clean up here. Yeah, I just go for Dazzling Gleam. I go for a... Doesn't really matter what I do with Xianpao. I guess I'm just going to Throat Chop for damage, I suppose. They already Terra, so I don't have to really mind the Ogerpon getting attack boost or anything later in the game. So, Throat Chop. Does so much. Wood Hammer, they're going to take a bunch of recoil. Dragonite's going to clean up. All right, beautiful. Do they have anything that they can really tech? Do they even live the Wood Hammer? I mean, I don't think they can win. I just Shadow Rider them anyway. Neutralizing Gas disappears, so sort of Ruin. Plus the Intimidate goes off. But a little bit too late, I think. Does Knockoff KO me here, actually? Oh, Ogerpon just went down to the recoil. Okay, yeah, Dragonite just wins. They go for Knockoff. Doesn't even KO the Xianpao. Now I can just go out into Dragonite. I click Outrage, I guess. Like, I can click any move, realistically. I think I'm just going to click Outrage because it's fun. So we go for Outrage. We go for Throat Chop and seal the game. I played a bit aggressive. There was no Entity, I guess, in this matchup, and because there's no Entity, I think Dragonite was cleaning up anyway. I did have to, I guess, go for the speed tie. Again, I didn't think it would be max speed with Torn guaranteed, especially if they have Entity. Like, I think there are a lot of different routes you could take, probably EV spread wise, but I got it wrong. However, guess what? I still had a 50% chance. I thought it was more odds in my favor, so I was willing to take it. I took it, and yeah, like the big Encore into the instant, preventing the Torn from getting a free switch from Parting Shot was massive, and then I was just able to threaten the Encore afterward. Still pretty good. Oh boy, Dondozo with Ting-Lu, the Muck Calyrex Shadow Rider with Rillaboom and Urshifu. This is such a weird Muck. What Wait, why isn't there a muck? There's no Speargle. It's just a muck. Oh, it's just minimized without the power of alchemy, I guess. Sure. Luckily, I have Taunt Weezing, so I will be bringing Taunt Weezing into this. Taunt Weezing plus... do I want to go D-Knight? Probably. Or Iron Hands. Iron Hands lead is fine too. I want Ursh. I don't think I need Ursh. I think it's like... Jianpao could be really good in this match. Trying to figure out like, okay, can I pressure Tinglu Doza but also pressure the Calyrex Shadow Rider at the same time? It's kind of hard to pressure the Shadow Rider. I think I'm just gonna go with Tinglu plus or Weezing plus Calyrex Shadow Rider, Iron Hands, and the Dragonite in the back. I think Dragonite is really good. Is it Dark Urshifu on this team? Probably, right? So I gotta respect that. I gotta respect it so I can Terra Normal immediately. Weezing might be really important to counteract. It's gonna be good to counteract the Dozo. Oh, Urshifu plus Water Urshifu plus Shadow Rider. Interesting. Okay. So fun fact, I can protect against the Urshifu if I want to risk the Shadow Rider having any setup move. Let's see. I would like to scout for a Terra. Like a potential Terra would be pretty nice to scout. Okay, they go for Protect with Calyrex. So they're max speed Calyrex. We confirmed that because we both are max speed. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. So it was just multiple protects across the board. That's fine. I'm just gonna go for a Gleam Astral. This might come down to a potential speed tie game, but you know, I will take it. If I get rid of Ursh, I don't have to fear as much about going for the Terra. Let's see. Are they Terra Normal? Terra Normal is actually the scary part, but any other Terra is fine. Fairy is fine. Yeah, now I can extreme speed it. Assuming I get the Astral. I would really want the Astral hit here. Because this should be Aqua Jet into Astral. It's no Aqua Jet. I get a free Astral Barrage. Okay. That's beautiful damage. They go for Astral themselves. I do have to focus Sash. Alright. Gladly take that. Oh, they read the Terra Normal on my they read the Terra Normal on my Calyrex Shadow. I respect that play. I can't lie. I do respect that play. Doesn't work out for them, but I respect it. It looks like they don't know the team, but yeah. This Shadow Rider is Terra Ghost for the extra power. We're able to get rid of a beautiful knockout into that Urshifu. So now Dragonite a bit more freed up to click extreme speed. If I want a Terra Normal, absolutely. Tinglu in. I'm sacking my Shadow Rider here. I don't need Shadow Rider, I think. Yeah, like unless it's Dozo, but even if it's Dozo, they already Terra, so Iron Hands actually puts in a good amount of work, so I just Astral Protect. They swap out, so I get free Astral damage on whatever's coming in. Probably the Dozo. Muck. Okay. So we protect the Weezing because I want the Weezing around, and then we taunt the Muck, and we should be fine. Good damage. A stomping. All right. Now I do have to go out into my Iron Hands here because I do need to put on the pressure. I don't think I want to. No, I don't Terra Normal. I think I. Actually, no. I was thinking of Terra Watering, but there's no point. I think I just rather taunt the Muck and go for a low kick into the Tinglu and just get the damage I need in the Tinglu immediately. I don't want to fake out because the problem with fake out is then they get the double power Stomping Tantrum against 2 ground weeks on the field, and I don't want that. So I get the taunt off to prevent the Muck from really going for anything. It could go for like knockoff, but that's fine. A Stomping Tantrum, they're going to take a bunch of damage from the Rocky Helmet on the Weezing, which is fair. A critical hit doesn't matter. Maybe it does actually, depending on like what kind of Ting Lu this is. It's probably defensive, so it might have actually mattered, but that's fine. Neutralizing gas disappears. Vessel ruin. Knockoff to get rid of my item, but I don't really need my Assault Vest in this game because they're never getting a special attack off as long as Dragonite's around. So low kick gonna come out into the Ting Lu, picks up the knockout, and yeah, now I clean up with E-Speed. All right, beautiful. So we go on to Dragonite. I go for Terra normal extreme speed into the muck, I guess. The Shadow Rider is probably just going to protect. I just don't really see a reason to. So you know what? I'm just going to go for extreme speed into Calyrex, and I'm just going to go for wild charge into the muck. Luckily, I also had heavy slam in case of any shenanigans. But yeah, we just wild charge here. Next turn, I could even go for Terra normal extreme speed into the I don't think I should. They do protect. I don't think I have to read this if I'm not mistaken. Maybe if it gets ugly with like doubles and triples. But the extreme speed into the Calyrex. This is a knockoff, but it's not gonna. Yeah, like Dragonite takes out like a champion. Ball charge is also doing good damage to muck. Was it not leftovers? I guess Doze was probably leftovers, so it is a berry on the muck, which is fine. Yeah, I can go for extreme speed into Calyrex with Terra normal now, and we'll go for wild charge. I didn't go for the Terra normal because it wasn't necessary in case I needed the Terra for later. But yeah, now we just go for Terra normal. I don't think, unless the muck has some way to break through the Terra normal Dragonite, like I just don't see it. So we'll definitely KO the Shadow Rider and should be a wrap here, unless they get double protect. No double protect attempted. Okay, yeah, game's over. All right, Calyrex down, and now the muck can't do anything. It's about to take a wall charge, and then it goes down to extreme speeds. Knock off again. Yep. All right, beautiful. Wall charge into the muck. Beautiful. This game definitely could have been a lot harder if they. I think if they just. Well, awkward didn't matter since I won the speed tie, but the fact that they close combat read, I did respect that read though, but yeah, it did not work out for them, unfortunately. As we're going to be able to go for the double up into the muck and seal it here. We have heavy slam in case they minimize as well. Yeah, there's just like nothing they can do. They can't stall out all my extreme speeds. Yeah, there's just nothing. But yeah, Dragonite with Terra normal is just so oppressive into Shadow Rider teams if you can force the Terra. And we forced the Terra immediately, which was massive. We converted was in Scarfer Shifu, which made things a bit easier. And then, yeah, like the fact that I was just able to get a knockout or a Shifu, force the Terra, big damage into Shadow Rider was just massive. All right, we have Calyrex Ice Rider, the Iron Valiant, Cornerstone Ogerpon, Entei with Raging Bolt and Urshifu. Entei is a bit of a scary mon. That mon can be pretty difficult. All right. So I do want to bring the Shadow Rider. I think Shadow Rider plus Iron Hands is not a bad lead. I actually really like it because offensively it puts on such amount of good pressure. I think I will bring it. I want to bring Weezing the back to switch into Ursh. And last Pokemon. I bring my own Urshifu. Urshifu is good, of course, against the Entei. It's like good into everything on their team. It's just the Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt's a bit of an annoyance to damage without bringing POW, and I don't think I bring POW in this. I think I will go Dragonite just to be safe. Because I do like consistent extreme speed cleanups. I think extreme speed is just really good. So let's see. All right. What are they going to be leading here? Iron Valiant with Wide Guard is definitely a big threat that I have to respect. I don't know if it's going to be Moonblast or Spirit Break. That's going to be a tough one. Also, Terra Ghost could be like a factor that I'd have to worry about. But we're going to see Calyrex Ice Rider and Iron Valiant. All right. Versus Iron Hands and the Shadow Rider. So this could be like a Assault Vest Cali Ice. I've definitely seen Cali Ice with Assault Vest on these kinds of teams before. This is going to be Booster Energy Iron Veiling, which is not too surprising. And it's going to reveal a Speed Booster. Yep. Okay. I don't know if they have Protect. I really just want to heavy slam the Valiant, pick up the knockout in the Valiant if they don't Terra, and just protect my Shadow Rider. I think I'm going to go for it. They Terra immediately. I don't know if this is Iron Valiant or if this is Ice Rider. It is Ice Rider. Okay. So this might be coaching. I can see them being coaching here. Coaching's annoying, but it's definitely playable. I think I should have just Psychic Fake Out like I thought I was going to, but this could be Spirit Break too. Oh, they Moonblasted. Okay, that's good. Okay. Go for Glacial, but my Iron Hands is in a pretty good spot to take it and probably just knock out the Valiant because we're max attack, and Heavy Slam is going to do a ton. Oh, not a knockout. Surprising. Okay. I thought that was going to KO. All right. I know they have the threat of Encore. I think I want to keep Shadow Rider around. So I think I'm just going to go for a Terra Water. I don't think I'm going to Terra my... Yeah, I'm going to go for the Terra Water Wall Charge into Calyrex, and I'm going to swap out into the Weezing. Because then I would like to see if I can get some extreme speeds going for the end game. Let's see. I got the Weezing. I don't think you're going to coach him, but maybe it's a possibility. So bring out the Iron Hands, Terra Water. We can extreme speed KO the Valiant. There's like a lot of ways we could handle it. Okay, they do Encore Lock, which is perfect. Super ideal. And we're going to see the Glacial Lance once again. All right. Yeah, we are able to tank just fine. Here comes a Wall Charge. Heavy damage into Calyrex. Beautiful. I don't know if it's Assault Vest. It would go down. But I think I just go for a Wall Charge into the Calyrex and protect. If hands goes down, I get a free swap, and that's perfectly acceptable. They go for coaching. Yeah, coaching Glacial Lance is what I expected here. I don't know if this knocks out the hands. I guess we'll find out together, but I don't think this does. Go for Glacial Lance. Let's see. Moment of truth. Does hands survive this or not? Because I think it does. Oh, it doesn't. Okay. So Iron Hands goes down. We saw Encore. We saw coaching. We saw Moonblast. I think I gotta go Shadow Rider though, because I went for an attack earlier. Yeah, I think I have to go out into my Shadow Rider. Click Psychic into the Cali Ice that I think should pick up the knockout and Gleam. Ah, they didn't protect. I was hoping, or Wide Guard. I was hoping they Wide Guard. I do KO the Shadow Rider though. That's good. And I should be getting the KO into Iron Valiant, unless they want to Encore, which is fine. Like if you Encore the Weezing, I get a double knockout here. Yeah, +1 special attack. Oh. Why you Thunder Wave? Okay, so I don't think they had Wide Guard. That's actually really unfortunate. That's really bad, actually. Okay. Dazzling Gleam gonna KO the Iron Valiant. This is not an ideal situation. Depends on who's in the back, but yeah, that's not pretty. Okay, it's Overpawn, which is already not a great start. Ursh? Yeah, it's Ursh. Oh, that's so bad. I think I'm gonna play aggressive at this point. The Ursh has to be Mystic Water if they want to KO, or they have to double it up, which is fine. I'm gonna go for a Dazzling Gleam and an Astral. I don't know if they're gonna read Protect from one of these Pokemon, but kind of just have to go on the aggressive. They go for the Ivy Cudgel. It looks like they target the Calyrex. Okay. They did play aggressive and target the Weezing. Okay. I just need one Astral. If I get the Astral, I win. Also, I didn't think the Surgeon KO'd the Weezing there. I was thinking they would Ivy Cudgel the Weezing if they were going to attack. Oh, they actually did KO, which is surprising. Please let me get this Astral Barrage off, please. Okay. 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 Oh, like Protect getting Chip was a bit too obvious, and they were making a few attempts on reads there, so ended up working out really well. Able to punish the KO on Urshifu, and now we get to bring in Dragonite, and now we seal the game with extreme speed. How unlucky would I be to lose this game? I'd have to be extremely. But yeah, Battle gonna be 4. Actually, can I lose? Yeah, I can. They would need 8 Protects in a row. I just don't think that's happening. Calyrex Ice Rider, Smeargle, Urshifu. We have Raging Bolt, the Cornerstone Ogerpon, and Volcarona. Alright, Smeargle. Not a fun Pokemon to deal with. Do I want to lead Urshifu? Urshifu Weezing doesn't sound bad as a lead wise here. Don't really like Xianpao too. I mean, Xianpao's not bad into Ice Rider. There's a lot of things I could go here. I think I like Urshifu Weezing because it punishes the Smeargle lead pretty decently. Back, it would probably be Iron Hands and Calyrex Shadow. I just don't really like the... I like having the Iron Hands. It's pretty good against my opponent's team. Dragonite's not bad. It's pretty decent, but the problem is I do need damage across the board, and I need a safe switch in for when Trick Room goes up, because I can't really stop Smeargle, Cali Ice setting up Trick Room. I'm gonna go with Urshifu lead. We're gonna see the lead of Urshifu Raging Bolt. This is not what I expected. Okay, Weezing's in a good spot. Urshifu, not really. I'm kind of okay though, because if they didn't lead to Smeargle, I'm kind of okay with sacking the Ursh to get a bunch of damage. I do have an Iron Hands pivot though, so I guess it's like just always go Iron Hands here, and let's get a T-Spike available. So we can start damaging the things in the back, which is pretty important. Bring out the Iron Hands, safe switch in most of the time. We're gonna see a Terra come out here, which, all right, what Terra are you going for? Electric on Bolt? No, Terra on Ursh. I mean, Terra Water, sure. Are you... This has to be Surging to Weezing then. I guess they're hoping to Brute Force to Weezing, which is fine. I'm kind of curious on their item, because I have no idea what their item is. Alright, that's one. Yeah, they're just taking so much from the Rocky Helmet. I would probably go down to an Electro Web, so they would have had to Volt Switch or Thunderbolt to KO the Weezing. Actually, E-Web might not KO, depending on their spread. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think this KOs. Nice. Beautiful. I'm able to get a free T-Spike up, and that is pretty massive here. A free Toxic Spike into the side of the field. Very happy about that. Okay. Would have liked the U-turning with Urshifu, but acceptable. I guess I'm just gonna go for Fake Out into the Ursh. Actually, I'm trying to figure out how I position it. I think I just wall charge the Ursh, and I think I just protect the Weezing. Because if this... I don't know if that's Rocky or Mystic Water damage, but they're probably just gonna go for Surging Strikes into the Iron Hands, but that's fine by me. Having the Weezing still around is actually useful. Or maybe I should have taken them getting the free KO because I'm taking the KO on Ursh and then getting free Shadow Rider. I think free Shadow Rider was better, actually. Yeah, I think free Shadow Rider switch was better. I think I shouldn't have protected the Weezing. Yeah, I should have got Shadow Rider in. That's fine. All right. I can manage, but it's not ideal. We do get the KO onto the Ursh. Yeah, this might get more complicated than I thought it would be. So this is Calyrex coming in. Yeah, I really wish I brought in Shadow Rider or not protected the Weezing. If I didn't protect the Weezing, I was in a golden spot because I would just Terra Ghost, Astral Barrage, and get like a ton of damage on the board. Unfortunately, I did not, so I have to figure out how to maneuver this. We're switching out into Urshifu, I guess, because we need the fake out reset. And I'm gonna taunt the Shadow or taunt the Ice Rider, I guess. I probably get double knocked out here, but that's fine if that's the case. It's gonna come down to how well I can position the final KOs. Because yeah, the bolt is actually kind of difficult to manage. I should have definitely sacked Weezing earlier, but we can do stuff, I guess. We're bringing out our Urshifu, E-Web, Urshifu voice. That's actually really massive. That is actually really massive. Okay, Weezing goes down. Is Trick Room or Glacial Lance? Okay, they Glacial Lance. I don't know how much the E-Web was doing, but it would have been something. Ursh might have been able to survive, but yeah, we go out into Calyrex Shadow Rider now. They're in range of Terra Ghost's Astral, I think, because of that one tick of poison. So we can go for Terra Ghost, Astral Barrage in close combat, and I think threaten the KO into the bolt. So that's what I'm gonna do. No, not Terra Water, close combat, and Terra Ghost, Astral Barrage. They can't Terra because they already Terra'd earlier with the Calyrex. I guess if Bolt survives this double up of close combat plus Astral, it gets really weird. Because then they get an Electro Web off, and then I probably lose to whatever's in the back. So I need this to KO. They do protect with the Cali Shadow, which is not too... Or Calyrex, which is not too surprising. We do go for the close combat. Oh, that did no damage, actually. That did not do as much damage as I was hoping for. All right, here's an Astral. That close combat really didn't do that much. Just compared to like what I've normally seen. All right. That has a lot of bulk on the Raging Bolt. Go for E-Web. Maybe it was better to switch into Iron Hands there because E-Web Protect was the play that they would make if they survive. I think we're still okay though. I get a fake out Astral. It's gonna come down to the back because I get a double KO here. It might come down to a mind game though, if it's like Cornerstone back. That's a problem. We fake out. We go for a Astral. Because if it's Volcarona back, I think I win. If it's Smeargle back, Smeargle back's the weird one. I could like Smeargle back I could definitely lose to. If it is Smeargle back, I lose, but I just don't see them having back Smeargle. We're gonna see Ice Rider retreat, which is surprising to me. Oh, it is Smeargle. They do get poisoned. Okay. They don't get moody here. No, they do get moody. Attack rise and defense fall. Okay, that's not... Okay, it's really just gonna come down to my Shadow Rider. Do I live Glacial Lance from the Ice Horse at this range? I might. Because I think this is a wide guard mind game. Gonna go for a low kick. And a Psychic. Into Smeargle. We know that's... Yep, they go for Wide Guard, which is not too surprising. I go for the Psychic here. Which should KO the Smeargle, and if not, the Poison will. Yep. Alright. Do we survive one Glacial Lance with the Shadow Rider? We have no bulk. That's my problem, so I don't think it's likely. But if we do, we are able to win. Oh, we do. Okay. Was not expecting that one, but we'll take it. I think I made quite a few misplays throughout this game, but it looks like I'm not getting super punished. Also, like the Smeargle couldn't really do much unless it had Spiky Shield, but they usually don't. They have Fake Out, but it doesn't really change anything here. So yeah, there wasn't really much they could do if it was like what I think it was, like a Fake Out, Follow Me, Wide Guard, Decorate. But yeah, then they couldn't do anything. They just had to open that Glacial Lance KO'd. Since Shadow Rider outspeeds Smeargle. Even at -1 from Electro. But I did misplay a bit. I think I had a few turns to be safe, but just didn't take it. Miraidon, Urshifu, Heartflame, Ogerpon, the Whimsicott, Iron Hands, and Farigiraf. Okay, I'm actually not 100% certain on how the Miraidon matchup goes. We do have a very fast POW, which is decent here. Like POW, Cali Ice is, or Cali Shadow is pretty decent. I think I want to go with that combination if I think so. Yeah, I think it's probably just Cali Shadow plus the Chien POW, and then in the back bring the Weezing and the Iron Hands. Okay. Because I don't think they're going to lead Whimsicott. I think Whimsicott's not exactly the best mon to have here, but we'll figure it out. I could lead Weezing. You might be thinking, why don't I just lead Weezing to stop the ability on Miraidon? But the thing is, like, Miraidon still does a ton of damage, and I can't exactly one-shot it if it Terra, so I don't think it's ever worth like risking damage on Weezing, which can be a good win con against my opponent's team. So we're gonna see the combination of Ogerpon, Heartflame, and the Whimsicott. Interesting. Versus Shadow Rider and Chien POW. Okay. Surprised they brought Whimsicott, which means Farigiraf might not be in the back then. And if it's not Farig, ooh, that's pretty decent. Trying to think. Am I okay with sacking the POW potentially for an Astral? I think so. I think I'm just gonna Astral and Sucker Punch the Ogerpon. If they protect, that's fine, right? I still get a big Astral to Whims, unless they Moonblast to get rid of my Focus Sash on the Calyrex Shadow Rider. I'm okay with that. They actually go for the Terra, it looks like. Is this Terra Whims or is this Terra on the Ogerpon? Terra on the Whims makes sense. Okay. All right, Whimsicott goes for the Terra. Get a Sucker Punch off. Wait, they didn't. No, they Tailwinded for sure, right? You always Tailwind the spot. Yeah, I was about to say, there's no way you didn't Terra. Okay, what did the Ogerpon do? Ivy Cudgel into Chien POW? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Okay, beautiful. So Chien POW goes down. I get a free Astral KO into Ogerpon, and that's a free +1, which is pretty ideal. Yeah, that's pretty ideal. Okay. The problem is knocking out the Whims is actually kind of annoying. We should be okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go Weezing now, because I could go Weezing. Weezing doesn't seem like a bad play. I think I'm gonna go Weezing, because they have no way to KO the Weezing. Electro Drift is gonna hurt, but it's not gonna KO. They don't have Terra anymore, so they can't go for like Terra Fairy Gleam, which is nice. Yeah, I think we're in an okay spot. It's still tricky to maneuver, but oh, Ursh coming in. Wait, this is really good for me. Weezing just gets to click Gleam. They do not have a switch to Gleam. Yes, I'm just gonna go for Protect with Calyrex Shadow. It's so nice being able to being able to protect against any attack and not have to worry about it. We're gonna Gleam, hit that damage on the Whims, probably going to go for light screen, I imagine. Maybe surging coming out here, which is fine. Well, Weezing's going to put in some work. Yep, light screen going to come out, but that's acceptable. If they go forward to surging and Weezing, they take a bunch of damage from Rocky Helmet. They go for surging into Cali. I would like to preserve Cali because I would like to have the Cali in the end game against the Miraidon, because I should be able to clean up the end game pretty nicely. So we're going to go out into Iron Hands. We're just going to spam Gleam. There's no reason not to just spam Dazzling Gleam. They might go out hard into the Miraidon, which is fine the upcoming turns. Let's see. They go for Moonblast. Moonblast Surging shouldn't KO Iron Hands. Oh, this is a new version with Mystic Water, but even then I don't think it KOs. Yeah, it does not. Okay. That's acceptable. Another round of Dazzling Gleam. Ooh, crit the Urshifu. Which wasn't needed, but it is helpful. Okay. Iron Hands is going down and upcoming. I'm just gonna fake out the Urshifu and go for Gleam. Should I fake out the Whimsicott? If fake out KO's Whims, I could get a T-Spike up. Actually, no. I'd rather just fake out the Whims and go for the Gleam. In case Gleam doesn't KO, but I'm pretty sure Gleam does KO the Whimsicott from net range. I just rather ensure it. If it does, if fake out does KO Whimsicott, I should T-Spiked so I could get more damage on Miraidon. But Light Screen's going to be wearing off soon, so it's not like that bad. A Heart Swap into Miraidon? Okay. Not what I expected, but this works because Miraidon still takes a bunch of damage. Here comes a fake out. Yeah, it didn't KO barely. Moonblast gonna KO the hands, but that's acceptable. All right. Again, I don't think this is that bad of a position. I just get a free Gleam off here. I get to KO the Whimsicott. The Miraidon is taking a bunch of damage. I guess we could scout for what attack they're gonna go for, but how much of the light screen do they have? This is either 2 turns left, I think. Might be 1, but I think it's 2. Ursh comes in. Calyrex comes in. Okay. Yeah, 2 turns of light screen. Okay. I always protect Cali here in case of Aqua Jet. Am I going for a Dazzling Gleam? I think I can afford a Dazzling Gleam here. Yeah, I definitely can't afford it. I can afford a Dazzling Gleam here. So I'll protect the Shadow Rider. Let's see what they're going to click. Because if they target the Weezing, they just lose here. Yeah, they Aqua Jetted. So they're going for the Aqua Jet Electro Drift last ditch effort, I suppose. Yeah. Like, if they target the Weezing, it doesn't KO, and if they went for the Aqua Jet, they lose the Urshifu to Rocky Helmet, so then I just get 2 Astral Barrages into the Miraidon, and it's Terra Ghost Astral Barrage, plus one of the turns it's not going to have Light Screen, so, like, yeah, they just didn't win. So now I can just, like, fire off Terra Ghost Astral Barrage, a Dazzling Gleam. That was going to be forfeit. If they protected Urshifu, I still go for Terra Ghost Astral Barrage plus Dazzling Gleam. That should have been enough to KO the Miraidon, I think, throughout the game, but yeah. Or if it doesn't, another Dazzling Gleam would, and I just have to dodge an Electro Drift crit from Miraidon. So, very nice. Weezing just being able to shut down, like, what they could really do. Like, I was able to get a nice trade, I think, for Pal plus Ogerpon, because Ogerpon is probably one of the harder hitters on their team. Especially because it's not taking Rocky Helmet damage either from the Weezing. And then I was just able to fire off damage, which was very, very useful. And yet, they can't do anything. Like, it doesn't matter if you crit here. You would need to be Discharge Miraidon. Did they Terra yet? They did Terra the Whimsicott, so I don't have to worry about Terra Electric. So I don't even think a crit Discharge would knock out the Weezing to spot. They would have to get like full paras, like a bunch. So we will get an Astral Barrage, Terra Ghost. I don't think this KOs, but it will probably be like a sliver. Electro Drift into Weezing, I guess. I don't think this, let's see the calc, but I don't think it KOs. Yeah, it doesn't KO. Beautiful. And they go down to Rocky Helmet too, because they were going to take Rocky Helmet damage if they Electro Drift, and that just makes Weezing even more powerful, because would have been, again, more range of the Astral Barrage from the Calyrex Shadow Rider. So very nice, just able to, again, put on a lot of offensive pressure with Shadow Rider at the start of the game, was able to get a good knockout, and then Weezing was able to slow the game down, and they couldn't really do much while I got some pretty good chip damage across the board. All right, let's go over the games. It's so nice being able to protect in front of an Urshifu, because I was just able to build up so much momentum utilizing the Galarian Weezing. The poison damage was able to rack up a lot from the toxic spikes, and no Calyrex Ice Rider just meant that they had very little offensive pressure, as I was able to get a quick double knockout onto Raging Bolt Urshifu and set up for a clean end game with the Shadow Rider in the back, as well as the Dragonite. In game 2, yeah, it was max speed Shadow Rider, which was not really up to my expectation, but I got a few reads right, such as the Encore on the Incineroar, as it was locked into Fake Out as the Calyrex Shadow Rider, protected as they were trying to get in Tornadus most likely, but I was just able to really punish hard and just able to really just swing the momentum by doing as much damage as possible, KOing the Torn early, so no Tailwind was up. Still had a lot of resources to go around the board and clean up the end game. In game 3, Muck with no Smeargle is interesting, but I was just able to get a lot of damage across the board. They didn't go for the Aqua Jet and went for a close combat instead into my Shadow Rider, which they ended up regretting because they went for a close combat reading Terra Normal, but I was able to get a knock on Urshifu, a lot of damage into the Shadow Rider that Terra to put in range of Extreme Speed from my Dragonite, and then I was just able to get rid of Tinglu utilizing my Iron Hand, so Extreme Speed Dragonite was pretty free to clean up in the end. In game 4, Iron Valiant, always a little bit tricky, and this one having Thunder Wave ended up being a bit of a difficulty because I wasn't able to basically go for my Astral Barrage KOs as I would have liked, and getting paralyzed was not great. However, was able to get into a phenomenal position after they decided to go for the spread attacks instead of doubling up a slot, and I was able to be in a really good position because Shadow Rider didn't get paralyzed, got the Astral Barrage to clean the game. In game 5, was a little bit surprised of how aggressively they targeted down my Weezing, but I was still able to do quite a bit of damage across the board. However, I feel like I just misplayed several turns. There were just plays that were obvious, such as the Electro Web in general, that I could have been able to catch across the board. And yes, I did get a bit lucky with dodging the Electro Web as well. I think I could have definitely went Iron Hands in on an Electro Web at one point in the game, which would have been really nice because the Calyrex Ice Rider, for instance, the Protect was a bit obvious. Was really assuming I was going to KO the Raging Bolt, but did not. However, was able to win because they weren't able to pick up the knockout into my Calyrex Shadow Rider with their Glacial Lands, even though my Focus Sash was broken on Shadow Rider. In game 6, I felt like I just had a really good trade. I was able to get rid of the Ogerpon Heartflame while forcing the Terra on the Whimsicott, able to get a ton of damage across the board. And once I saw the Urshifu, I was just able to get so much damage across with the Dazzling Gleam from the Weezing. Put it in range and stall out the Tailwind while getting rid of the Whimsicott, so no Tailwind would be available later in the game, so Shadow Rider would be able to clean up with that Focus Sash. This team plays very differently than most other teams, and it's really interesting, especially the way that Encore Shadow Rider is able to play. It's such a threatening move from a fast Mon in general that you really do have to respect it. The T-Spikes Weezing, I think, is really nice, and it's great having a Mon that doesn't have to go for the Poison Gas and potentially miss, which could lose a lot of momentum. There's a lot of great things about it, of course. The Xian Power Urshifu Dragonite mode is always super strong. Iron Hands is a great Pokemon, even without its ability. Like, it's just a bunch of strong Mons in general, and it really just functions in an interesting way. So if you would like to try out the team for yourself, you can try it out with the render code on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time the video comes out. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.